In the near future, a man warned everyone about the world's end, but nobody listened. So he decided to save the world himself. Not from a disaster, but from the very people in it. The story begins with a brilliant scientist, Dr. Dennis Skinner. He developed a miracle painkiller called Hapna. It was cheap, it had zero side effects, and it took over the world overnight. People said it freed them from suffering, a wonder drug that could save humanity. But then, 1 year later, Dr. Skinner vanished, and it turns out Hapna wasn't a miracle. It was a trap he set for every last one of us. 3 years after his disappearance, Skinner posted a video on every platform across the globe. He had returned with a message. He declared that humanity, hopelessly dependent on his drug, was already dead. That our endless struggle for short-term gains had shattered the planet, and that we needed to be punished for our sins. Then came the bombshell. He revealed that Hapna was engineered to stay in the body, to mutate after 3 years, and to kill every single person who had ever taken it. You know, as a treat. He claimed there was no way to purge it from the bloodstream, but he held the cure. The world had just 30 days. 30 days for someone to find him, or humanity would be erased. Chaos erupted instantly. Riots tore through cities, pharmaceutical companies were set ablaze, and the stock market plunged into a historic crash. While the world was burning, a man named Axel Gilberto was serving a sentence of 888 years. In a maximum security prison, he was minding his own business when he got a visitor, a mysterious woman named Hirsch, who knew everything about him, right down to his shoe size. Hirsch offered him a deal: help find Dr. Skinner, and in return, she would grant Axel his freedom.
I want you to help me find him. That's the favor I came here to ask you.
For Axel, this was an offer he couldn't refuse, mostly because he has a bad habit he just can't kick. He loves breaking out of prisons. A perfectly normal and healthy hobby. The moment Hirsch's 10 minutes were up, Axel made his move. In a flash, he disarmed a guard, snatched his gun, and with a calm, "Nobody move!" the entire facility went into lockdown. The alarms blared. Axel, now free of his cuffs, began his masterpiece. He moved through the prison like a ghost, a one-man wrecking crew taking down guards with brutal efficiency. He wasn't just escaping, he was putting on a show. In a move straight out of an action movie, Axel made his escape through the ventilation shaft. Like a bird let out of its cage, he was free once more. Hirsch immediately ordered the team to chase Axel.
Bring the car around immediately. He just flew away.
Roger that.
He casually strolled into the city, still in his prison uniform, and had the nerve to tell a cop it was the latest fashion trend. The officer, completely oblivious, actually bought it. Clearly, Officer of the Year material right there. The moment the cop's radio crackled with the name Axel Gilberto, our hero was already inside a clothing store, slipping into something he liked, right off a mannequin. This stunt, however, didn't go unnoticed. Meanwhile, Hirsch and her team, Lazarus, were tracking his every move. A high-speed chase ensued with police drones closing in as Axel sprinted through Central Station. The Lazarus team, led by an agent named Doug, predicted his moves and cornered him on a rooftop high above the city. With a gun aimed at him and nowhere to run, Axel seemed trapped. But then he spotted a drone closing in. At that exact moment, a flock of pigeons burst into the air. Axel didn't hesitate. He smirked, took a leap of faith, and grabbed the drone in midair. He clung to it as it carried him down toward the street below. The moment he landed, a starstruck girl ran up to him. She was convinced his escape was the coolest street performance she'd ever seen. She begged for a selfie, and as Axel reluctantly posed, she zapped him with a taser hidden in her bracelet, knocking him out cold. When he finally woke up, he was in a strange room, surrounded by the very people who had been chasing him. Hirsch reappeared on a monitor, welcoming him to the team. Like it or not, Axel Gilberto was now a member of Lazarus. The mission was simple: find Dr. Skinner and save the world. The team was a collection of misfits, each fitted with a bracelet that would burn their hand off if they tried to escape. Great for team morale, I'm sure. There was Doug, the team coordinator, Chris, a gun specialist, Leland, a teenager skilled in piloting drones, and Elena, a quiet girl who was secretly the world-class hacker known as Mad Screamer. Their first lead was a company that sold survival bunkers, which Skinner had purchased years ago. The team split up. Chris and Axel went to check Skinner's bunker in the Arizona desert. At the same time, Doug and Leland were sent to the company's abandoned office. As they searched for clues, they were held at gunpoint by two debt collectors looking for the company's owner. As for Chris and Axel, things got complicated fast. They found an old, unconscious man. Thinking he might be Skinner, they approached cautiously, but they didn't have time. They were ambushed by two rival gangs, a Russian mob and a Mexican cartel, both hunting Dr. Skinner. The bunker exploded into chaos. A wild three-way firefight broke out. It was a storm of mistaken identities and flying bullets, ending only with the arrival of the FBI and the DEA. It was a crushing realization that everyone had been after the wrong guy. Just a typical Tuesday for our heroes. Just as they hit a wall, Elena made a breakthrough. Someone was hacking global surveillance systems, replacing thousands of faces with Skinner's. She suspected one of two legendary hackers was behind it, Popcorn Wizard or Dr. 909. This meant Skinner likely hadn't changed his face. He was just hiding in plain sight.
Whoa.
There's 100,000 Skinners?
He's all over the place.
With this new lead, the team split up again. Elena stayed at the base to set a trap for the hacker. Chris and Leland headed to Skinner's old house. Meanwhile, Doug and Axel pursued a personal lead. Doug's former mentor, Professor Claude, who once worked with Skinner. Chris and Leland's trip was a bust. The house had been picked clean. Axel and Doug, on the other hand, ventured into a homeless community. There they found Professor Claude living on the streets. The professor shared a crucial memory. Skinner was obsessed with his grandmother Belinda's magical baklava recipe, and she lived in Istanbul. Axel and Leland immediately took the hypercube to Istanbul. They were eventually led to the home of a sweet old woman, Grandma Belinda. She welcomed them with open arms and fresh baklava, sharing stories of her kind-hearted grandson. She even showed them a recent video message from him. It was then that Axel realized Skinner had to be watching them through a hidden camera. In a stroke of genius, he looked right into the camera and taunted Skinner. Back at base, Elena confirmed it worked. The hacker, Dr. 909, had taken the bait, allowing her to pinpoint his hidden crypto wallet. The wallet revealed a massive payment from a stock trader named Sam Stevenson. He had cashed out on Hapna stocks right before the announcement. The team now had their target. Sam threw a wild party every weekend at his exclusive club. The mission: get close to him and find his connection to Dr. 909. For this, Chris and, hilariously, Leland, disguised as a woman named Laura, were sent to catch Sam's eye. Because when you need stealth, a man in a dress is obviously the first choice. While the girls put on a show, Elena dug deeper. She discovered Dr. 909 was making ATM deposits all over the world, always disguised. The travel pattern matched that of a world-famous DJ known as Visionary. The pieces clicked into place. Back at the club, Chris was invited to the VIP room, while Leland was personally picked by Visionary himself. In the VIP lounge, the sickening truth was revealed. Sam was drugging the women with a special punch bowl. What a gentleman. But they underestimated Chris. The drugs didn't affect her. She proceeded to unleash hell on Sam, knocking the scumbag out cold. At that moment, Elena confirmed their suspicions. Visionary was Dr. 909. All hell broke loose. A massive firefight erupted as Sam's security tried to contain the situation. Visionary and Sam made a break for the roof, attempting to escape in a helicopter, with Axel in hot pursuit.
What followed was an unlicensed air ballet starring one idiot hanging off a helicopter. In a desperate move, Sam struck the chopper's AI system to force it to shake Axel off. It worked, but at a cost. The hit sent the helicopter into an unstable flight, dangerously close to a tower crane. Axel had to let go. Luckily, Doug and Leland were following in the car below. Just in time, Leland deployed a drone, swooping in to catch Axel. He was launched back toward the chopper. Moments later, Axel shot the engine, sending the helicopter crashing into the river. Trapped in the sinking helicopter, Visionary and Sam finally cracked. They confessed they had no connection to Dr. Skinner. They had simply hacked Delta Medicinal, the company behind Hapna, and used the inside information to get rich. The team dives into the data they ripped from the hacker 909, and what they find is weirder than they could have imagined. There's no clinical trial data, but someone at Delta has been uploading bizarre, distorted music files to SoundCloud every single week. Because when you're a multi-billion-dollar corporation involved in a global conspiracy, of course your secret communication method is a public music sharing site. On a hunch, they open the audio as an image file. And there it is, the clinical trial data for Hapna, hidden in plain sight. They realize this has to be how Delta was secretly feeding information to the ghost they're all hunting, Dr. Skinner. With plenty of dirt on the company, the team decides it's time to pay a visit to Delta's CEO, Ahmed Rahman, in his luxury apartment. But the place is a fortress. Jammers, automated security, and no easy way in. While the team debates strategy, Axel decides to take a more direct approach. He just walks in, whistling. He strolls right past the front desk and heads for the elevator. Multiple security guards quickly follow him inside to stop him, but it's no use. Axel takes them down with ease before the elevator even reaches Dr. Rahman's floor. When he gets to Dr. Rahman's apartment, he pulls out his phone and presses it against the doctor's head like it's a gun.
No, I can't do it.
I said pretty please.
Security system command, deactivate.
The team confronts Dr. Rahman with the evidence, but he swears he has no idea where Skinner is. He was just following his instructions, sending him data with no way to contact him back. He then reveals a horrifying truth. Before any human trials, Delta tested Hapna on monkeys. Just the other day, the first subject died. Its eyes became discolored, taking on a terrifying pattern that looked like a starry night sky. He confirms it. Skinner's timeline is real. Humans are next. Tired of chasing ghosts, Axel comes up with a new plan. They're going to lure the devil out. They force Delta Medicinal to announce an emergency press conference, claiming they've developed a cure for Hapna. The cure, by the way, is just saline solution in fancy vials. The plan is to invite every renowned doctor and researcher in the world, knowing Skinner won't be able to resist seeing if someone actually outsmarted him. The building is locked down, with guards everywhere, and 2 separate air-gapped networks to prevent hacking, one for the building's basic functions and a shielded core network for confidential data. The conference begins. As a doctor goes on in detail about sodium channels, Elena gets a hit. Someone is trying to breach their system from the outside. But it's a fake. The real culprit is already inside the building. So the team decides to look for him. They search everywhere, but couldn't find anything. Suddenly, the lights go out. The hacker triggered a power cut to cause chaos. While the team scrambles, they realize the hacker's true target: the walkie-talkies. The manufacturer had issued a recall, swapping the secure models for new ones that were secretly compromised. The hacker used them as a Trojan horse to breach the shielded core network. But Elena was one step ahead. She planted a fake antidote file on the core computer, a piece of bait loaded with a tracker. The hacker, a legendary rival known as Popcorn Wizard, steals the file. They've got her. They trace her location to the stock exchange in Islamabad, Pakistan. But just as they alert the authorities, her signal vanishes. She was using a mobile base parked next to the exchange to spoof her location.
There's no future. I slipped away.
They lost the battle to win the war, but in the end, they still lost the hacker. As the team recovers, they get a call. It's Popcorn Wizard herself,
calling just to say hardcore and congratulate them on being the first to ever come close to catching her, before hanging up.